This one we did no super flex. The roster is 3 receivers and a flex and then 4 bench spots. All right, let's get this thing rocking. Get this thing rocking. I'm gonna try to get through some more of the chat. All right. I know we were we were backed up a little bit. Let's see. I just want to know how I can improve and tell me where I went wrong. I'll go back on your team in a second and look. To make it an 8 or better, I'm okay with being wrong. So I think that's one thing we'll start doing as things get closer is probably rating them and like where to improve. So it's tough going through every team like that quickly when we got another draft lined up too. Yes, exactly. Not everyone's going to get a trophy. You can't all be 8s. But I think a lot of it has to do with player preferences, right? Like, so if I say I like a player, I'm going to give those teams a lot higher grades. And same thing for Tyler. Like, if he says he likes players, it's just who do you like at that spot? So, like, for me, this 4 is the exact 4. You're probably going like St. Brown here or Bijan. I've been going Bijan a lot more lately here, bro. I'm still going to go St. Brown. See what the team looks like. But it's all opinion, right? And you guys have heard me, like, I've rated some teams. Some days I'm nicer with the rankings. Some days I'm not. But I think overall, if you listen to, like, the reasoning behind it, that's how you'll find the win, more so than the grade. That Malik Neighbors over Keenan Allen, we're going to have to talk about that a little bit more. I might have to, you know what I'm saying? I might have to make a post about that one. Give me the spring chicken over the old fart. I ain't mad at that. I think that's a diabolical take, bro. Malik Neighbors over Keenan Allen is crazy to me. Keenan Allen's been, I mean, when he plays, he's 1,100 every single season, 100 catches every season. Big Daniel Jones guy, who's a big, yeah. Daniel Jones, bro. I just don't see, Daniel Jones is like a 3,000 yard passer. 3,000 yard passer. JCS, is this Cade in disguise throwing like the sarcastic stuff out there? Quentin Johnson is on a great offense. That's going to be a terrible offense, bro. That's going to be a terrible offense. I don't think the production this year between Keenan Allen and Odell Beckham will be that far. Yeah, this guy's coming in with the sarcastic. JSC, I like you, bro. I like you. Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, shout out to Tyler, man. Tyler always comes in and, you know, that's it, especially with someone like me, because I have a lot of like very strong takes. And like, if you don't see the game the way I do, sometimes I'll be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I think Tyler just sees things differently. He looks at the analytical side a little bit more. And I look at I kind of look at like more actual production a little bit more, you know, like I think that's the difference between how we view things. And it comes across as like we differ in our takes a lot. But there's a reason why these guys, why their ADPs are at where they're at. You know, like Malik Neighbors on some boards, I've seen him like top 10, top 15 Malik Neighbors. And there's, you know, some guys got Devin Achane in the top 10 on Underdog. Devin Achane's like a top 8 guy right now. So I think what I do is I play a lot of like contrarian, but, you know, I tend to lean into a little bit more of the real football aspect than the analytical side. But yeah, I don't know. Tyler's a good dude, man. Puts a lot of work in, too, for the fantasy community. I'm going Keenan every day, 100%. Jahan, that Tyler guy be smoking something good sometimes. It's just a difference, man. You've heard my voice, you know, and I think Tyler, you know, Tyler's a solid dude when it comes to, like, putting out content, and we just got different opinions on players, man. It happens. I don't know why I just went Drake London there. I think we're just talking a lot about Drake London. When this draft finishes, can you rate me harsher than usual? To be honest, rating you harsher than usual and like going through would be kind of out of character for me. What I can do is instead of being harsher, I will be more thorough with my evaluation on this one. So instead of saying, you know, here's just a grade, I will give a better reasoning behind it. So I think I don't really need to go out of character or like do anything that's not me. I'm gonna give you guys the regular ratings. I don't want to just be harsher or be more lenient just for the sake of it. That's why I kind of always stick between 7.5 and 8.5 because I know how to gauge that. That's just me. And I think all teams after the draft have weak spots and have strong suits. And there's no perfect team, you know? So I think for me, like, I don't really see like a harsh rating doesn't make sense. Like if you drafted well, I'm going to tell you did well. If you didn't do well, I'm going to tell you didn't do well. So I'll just be on my own shit, man. In your leagues, do you do a veto process or veto only for collusion? Very good question. The leagues I'm in, it's only for collusion. It shouldn't have to go through a league vote. Like, why should we vote on a trade? It should only be if somebody's cheating or there's collusion. Outside of that, you're just hating. You're literally just hating on somebody else. Like, I don't want to see you get better. So I don't think that's fair. But as you can see, I might be getting Malik Neighbors. Somebody's gonna be like, damn, he's a great player. 5 of you in the league might be like, he's trash. It comes down to like preference. And if everybody in the league drafts the same, there might be people that listen to Tyler like, no way that trade can go through. There's been people that listen to me and be like, oh shit, like that's a dope ass deal. So I don't know. I don't really see a value in it. Even if it's something as skewed as like, say you get 3 weeks into the season and somebody's like, hey, I'll trade you Drake London for Zay Flowers. A lot of people on the surface are just gonna be like, hell no, you can't do that. Or Devontae Adams for Malik Neighbors. Somebody might be like, hell no, don't do that. There's gonna be other people like, damn, I love that deal, So I'm gonna go Debo here. But yeah, that's the only thing with collusion and like vetoes is as you can tell, we see the game. All of us can see the game very differently. So your values are not the same as everybody else's values. You guys watch, and your values. Sometimes you probably hear me say something, and you're like, hell no, that's not right, Jahan. And I could be wrong on that. So it comes down to like you process the information, you rank players, you make decisions. It's your team at the end of the day. So start, bench, cut, painting, fishing, and swimming. Number one's probably swimming. That's what I do the most out of all of those. I have a pool, so I go swimming. I've been doing a lot of swimming over the last week. Fishing is probably number two. I love fishing. I just haven't gone in years. And painting is trash. Painting is trash. Painting is trash. Painting is all for looks. That's it. It's just vanity. What does your house look like? Who cares? It's all the same shit. It's a house. You got a wall. It's painted. It's gray. It's blue. It's painting what? Painting what? I know I'm just joking. He's a good guy. Everyone has different takes. You're gonna be wrong on some. He's gonna be right. Vice versa. Yes. Can't get everything right when it comes to fantasy. Exactly. Right. You just want to be more right. You want to be more right than you are wrong. And come fantasy playoffs, you want to be in a good position. In-season management shits on anything draft related. Anything draft related. In-season management is how you win your league. Drafting is a good foundation, and maybe you can get a good start or but I've had teams that have gone like 1-3 and made the playoffs. I've won a championship before, starting off like 1-4. So I don't really panic like that, man. The season is where in winning your fantasy playoffs. If you were an expert in fantasy playoffs, you were okay during the regular season, and you were the worst drafter in the world. I trust that more than the best drafter in the world with mid-tier in-season management and terrible management during fantasy playoffs. I will trust that person 10 times out of 10 over the other. Do you like AJ Brown over Chase? No, I like them similarly. Chase slightly more than AJ Brown, but it's getting close. Everyone has to remember there's a reason you do mocks. If you're going to ask mock, then you go again and use a different strategy. Yes, and it's also opinion too, right? Like you can use these to try different strategies out, draft different players. You got to assess how you like your team. At the end of the day, you run your team. So, that team is killing it. I see. Hold on, who is this right here? Yo, Barkley, Kamara, Devontae, and Keenan. Jalen Hurts. Wait, is this? This is somebody in the chat. Who is this? Jalen Hurts. Is this Trey? Cup, St. Brown, or Cup and AJ Brown with Jacobs and Achan. Achan in the fourth ain't bad. Everybody has a good price. Achan in the fourth is not bad. I just don't like him up here in the second. It's going to come across as hating, though. I have a pull. What a flex. Is having a pull flex? Is that a flex? I think every 1 out of 3 houses probably has a pool. Like I'm just saying, I like to go swimming. You can take away Keenan Allen for neighbors in Dynasty right now. Dynasty would be way different. Dynasty is way different. But redraft, Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors. I'm gonna go Kenneth Walker here. Kenneth Walker right there. Like the spot there. Kenneth Walker. Dominating the wire is the key. I've come second or third every time in leagues. People have better teams. Hold on. Dominating the wire is key. I've come in second or third every time in leagues. People have better teams. But last year I had Kyron and Puka off waivers and Zamir, for example. The wire is how you win, I swear. Gabe, that was a hard read. I'm not going to lie. With no punctuation at all. That was like literally hurting my brain to try to read that, bro. And I read a lot of comments, man. I read a lot of comments. That was hard for my brain to process, my man. But I do understand it. You know, dominating the wire is literally the reason, like, I think it's not the reason like picking up the right player. It's more about like how do you use your waiver wire? You know what I'm saying? Like you can find the Kyron, the Puka. There's one of those guys every year, but I think you can win your league without making like the best pickup of the year. I think it's more along the lines of like, how do you use your bench? You know, like, do you have starters? Are you looking for future starters on your bench? Are you picking up players who may have been dropped a little too early? Are you hoarding too many defenses on your bench? Like, can you anticipate somebody going off the week before they go off? That's what I think in season. When I talk about in season management, more so than just like, I got the lucky pickup of the year. You know what I mean? Like, that's to me, that's how you use the waiver wire is more important than like making sure I hit on the number one player. Because sometimes, like it might be a situation where like T. Higgins gets dropped this year. And if you're the guy that believes in him and picks him up, you're like, okay, no, he still has value. You're going to have a leg up on your competition. So, it is my pick right now, and I'm kind of feeling this. Last time I did this, I think I said I would never do it again. Where I took A-Rich in the fifth. I'm pretty sure I said that on stream. I said I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to try it one more time, though. I'm going to try it one more time. Try it one more time. How do y'all feel about it? Because people with quarterbacks, man, it's crazy. Crazy to hear the dynamic of like some people really love quarterbacks based on the analytics and their most valuable position. Some people really love quarterbacks, and then I'm kind of like, there's a lot of quarterbacks that could finish as top 5 guys. But A-Rich, to me, I feel like he could be number 1. So, and I just missed your question. No, I already answered that, Gabe. Start, bench, cut, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. Ooh, are we talking about football? Are we talking about basketball or just era in general? I'll go with era in general. And I think the 2000s was like peak living. 2000s, because you got to think about it, right? We saw it all in the 2000s. We saw the dot-com boom. We saw, obviously we saw the recession a little bit later with the housing crisis. But during the 2000s, like music was popping, the club scene was popping. Like there was a lot of, it wasn't so much hate going around. This was before like social media took off. And we saw the very beginning of social media with like Facebook and IG very first popping off right before the 2010s, like that era was the transition era between like what the old world was and the new world is. And I feel like it was so innocent back then, man. Like the 2000s was, if you lived during that time, it was like, it wasn't the 90s where, at least for, people look like me, you're having like a lot of gunplay, gang stuff going on. You weren't worried about like, oh, is 2K coming? Is the Y2K, the end of the world? What's the internet? Everything's going to crash and robots are going to take over. Like, you're not worried about that shit. That was the 90s. And then in 2010s, it was like social media became like this dark, weird place for a while. Like, had to get under wraps. The Chinese were spying and Russians were spying. And, the elections were getting this. We had George Floyd going on. We had a lot of like social stuff going on during the 2010s. So I feel like with the 2000s, the 2000s was just such a great era, man. It was such a great era. We got peak basketball. Kobe dropping 81. Lakers are winning championships. We saw the end of Jordan's career. I don't know, man. I got 2000s. Who y'all got? And I bench the 90s because the 90s was a vibe too. Bench the 90s. Even though the 2010s, man, like you go to the middle of 2010s, like 2015, 2016, those are some decent years, It's just there was a lot of other stuff going on during that time. So I would say maybe like 9/11 happened in the 2000s. If you want to talk about like dark for the country, but yeah, 2000s. I go 2000s, then 90s, then 2010s. Axel's such a troll. Yes, he is. We gotta have the trolls though. We gotta have the trolls. We gotta have the trolls. I feel like it makes it fun. It throws me off a little bit sometimes too. Yeah, he said I don't even look when I send. Tank Dill. Jahan, who are your top 3 favorite late round gems and heroes? I'm going to go over that after the rankings. I haven't taken them a whole lot in these drafts because we haven't been drafting a full bench, but I think Rashad Bateman going at wide receiver 70 levels is crazy. I think when you can get guys like Gus Edwards later in your drafts at the running back position, starter, that's a good thing. So I don't really have any guys locked in yet. I think Blake Corum is going to take over fantasy running backs towards the end of the season. That's just a hunch more so than anything, but I kind of have that feeling too. I don't know. I got a lot of late round guys that I like this year. I got a lot of late round guys I like this year. You give up on this draft. I have the whole Texans. Oh, you give up. You're saying you give up on this draft. You have who do you got? Oh, you're first. Are you first over here? Diggs, Mixon, and Tank Dell. Yikes, Sonny G, what are you doing over there, bro? Maybe Tyler got to give you come in here and grade this team, bro. Tyler got to come in there and grade that team. Give it a 5.3. Having a pool in a city is a flex. All right, I'll take it. My house is old though. I don't have I got a 1970s house. My house was built in the 70s, so it's been remodeled, but I have a house that was built in the 70s. So is it really a flex? I got a big yard though. So how's the team looking? Execution. Let me see. Execution. Why don't I know what team? Okay, there you go. CeeDee Lamb, Evans, Pittman, Cook, Stevenson. I like the setup so far. I like the setup. Got to see how you finish the draft. Got to see how you finish the draft. How you start the draft and how you finish the draft are two very, very different things. I'm screwing up this draft hard. Make it up. You can always make up for a slow start in the beginning. You can always make up for it. So don't beat yourself up. Wait, what? JSC, bro. You got these weird ass fucking questions, bro. It's throwing me off, man. I'm not gonna lie. Throwing me off a little bit. I hate the receivers in this round. I absolutely hate the receivers that go right here. I absolutely hate the receivers in these rounds. When it gets to this round, it's like when it gets to Jordan Addison, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Lab McConkey, I start going to other positions. I'm so glad. I feel like you have to take receiver. If you have a 3 receiver slots, I feel like you got to have at least 3 receivers before the end of the 6th round. You have to. I absolutely hate the receivers that go here. I don't mind D-Hop. Toker, you just throwing that in my face. I don't mind D-Hop, but I don't like the receivers that go in this area. I don't. I could beat up a giraffe, goose, or porcupine. It's a goose, bro. I just snap the goose neck. Done. Goose, what's a goose gonna do to me? Giraffe is hella tall. I'm tall, but a giraffe's way taller than me. And porcupine got them stingers, so yeah, MySpace was popping. Yeah, see, MySpace was popping. 50 Cent, '03, baby, go to year. That was my graduation year. Shout out to the '03 class with me. Shout out to '03 was one of the best years, bro. That's when 50 dropped. What was it? Get Richard Die Trying. Was that '02 or '03? It was the same around that same time. '03 was a goated ass year, bro. '03 was a goated year. You ain't lying, Jorge. That year was goated. Damn, if you missed out on the 2000s, start bench cut kiwi, pomegranate, pineapple. Pineapple's number 1. Kiwi's number 2. I like pomegranate juice though. I'll go kiwi the fruit over pomegranate. I got to get in the league with the fans. Some of my favorite players be dropping heavily, like Achan, Josh Allen, DJ Moore, Love the Moxie. Yes, so I've already dropped for members and subscribers. So YouTube subscribers and members are going to be the ones who have access to leagues with me this year, and then also people in Dub Club. So if you are part of Dub Club, I'm going to drop a few leagues for those once that thing gets rolling. So. Right now, you can join for free. I'm going to drop my rankings this week. Next week is when it starts charging, so you can check it out for yourself. See if you like it. If you don't, you can just exit out of it. Otherwise, you're going to get at least a week for free. So the Dub Club stuff is down at the very bottom. And then I'm considering starting a Discord too. But it's only going to be the leagues are going to be for members and subscribers this year because I'm going to be in too many leagues this year. So For members and subscribers, I've already posted how to get in the league. If you missed it and you are a member of this page or a subscriber on TikTok, shoot me a message on Twitter with your handle and let me know, and I'll get you into a league. We just filled up one league. It was a 14-team auction league. We're gonna be filling up another one here soon. Bro said I was born in '03. That's wild. I finished high school when you were in '03. But yeah, Chris, we can get a league. We just filled a 14-team league. Another league is coming soon, like I said, for members of this page. So if you're a channel member, or if you're a subscriber on TikTok, or if you're a member of Dub Club, that's how you get into a league with me, with the fans. Star bench cut, margaritas, Moscato, or Godiva. I'm definitely not doing the dessert alcohol. Give me a margarita, skip the rest. Skip the rest. Class of 2007. All right. Class of '07. '07 is close enough to me. All right. So as far as the receivers, yes, I agree, Jahan. Had to take D-Hop, though. My receivers are fringe ones. I went hard RB early and Hurts in the fourth. Kind of a steal, but I don't like it. You need early receivers. I don't think you have to take a receiver with your first pick, but I do think in a 3-receiver league in PPR and 12-team, you need to take 3 receivers in the top 6 rounds. If you haven't gotten your top 3 receivers by then, it gets a little bit more risque. Yeah. See, I'm gonna go C Watt here, bro. Do you guys like Xavier Worthy? I just think he's too risky. The only thing I can say with Xavier Worthy is they might use him in the return game with that new with the new kickoff. They have that new kickoff now. So that might change some value. He might get another, 5-6 return touchdowns. I don't know how that's going to affect him. I assume he's going to be some kind of returner, but that's going to change a lot of people's values too, is like who's being used at the return positions. Like, are the Miami Dolphins going to use Tyreek Hill back there? Like, is Xavier Worthy going to be a return guy? And is there going to be 5 to 8 return touchdowns in a season? We just don't know what that new return game is going to look like. But Sonny G, bro. I thought he was coming home to the Lakers. I'm glad D Rose came home. Y'all didn't deserve him neither. Like Kendrick said, right? I thought he was coming to LA, man. But the Kings, I'm up here in Sacramento. Kings fans they're ecstatic, man. The Kings are going to be good. The Kings are going to be a very good team. A very good team. In half-point PPR, do you still prefer to take a wide receiver first round? Depends on the receiver, depends on the running back. But like in the instance where it's Jamar Chase and St. Brown and A.J. Brown, I might take Bijan over those guys now. Because Bijan, you know what I'm saying, it will be a little bit more consistent. So it depends on the player, depends on where their value is. Like Jahmyr Gibbs might go a little bit later for me, but it depends on the player. But yes, I would lean towards, like, if I was fringe between a running back and receiver in half-point PPR, I would probably go with the running back. So like C-Mac should be the first pick over Tyreek and over Speedy, but it's close. Opinions on DK this year? Been taking him in round 4 or 5 every chance. Yeah, I like DK. I think he'll be inconsistent because JSN and Tyler Lockett, but I still think DK is at least going to be a top 20 guy. He always is. 6 pick is weird. There was no elite wide receivers in the second round where I'm at since I went running back in the first. Yes. So that's the only thing, is you got to feel confident in your receivers. I think, though, if you would have went, like you went Bijan early with that pick, and say you took Derrick Henry, if you would have went like elite receiver, Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf later, you had a chance at like George Pickens. Yeah, it kind of thins out. Maybe if you take a running back early, we're not taking 2, but I don't mind the running backs you got. It's just you have to hit on your receivers now. Or maybe instead of taking Jalen Hurts there, you take a George Pickens, and you probably feel better about your receivers, That'd be the only thing I would like really change. But if you like Derrick Henry there, which I don't think it was a bad value. I got my tight end already? Cool. Why didn't that just take him for me? All right. I like this team. I'd rather go 2 elite running backs than Drake London or Harrison. My wide receiver 1, I feel sick. Yeah, but you also there was Mike Evans there, Stephon Diggs was there, Pittman was there, Debo was there. Guys that could easily be just as productive as Derrick Henry, So I don't mind it if you wanted the running back there, but now you're going heavier at receiver because you have to. Can we do an auction draft next time? Yeah, we can do an auction draft next time for sure. We need to run an auction draft. I don't think we've done one in a minute. Sounds good. I'm gonna get a membership because I need more leagues. Absolutely. The member leagues, we filled up one member league, but I'm gonna drop another one here this week. So I'm gonna drop another member league, and I'm gonna drop one only to people who are part of the Dub Club free trial. Even if you're in just a free trial, that's fine. I'm gonna drop one this weekend, a league for only people that are in the Dub Club this weekend. So Dub Club's getting a league, and then we'll do another member league here on YouTube probably the following week. And then I'm gonna start drafts. I was planning on starting drafts in August. I think I'm gonna start drafts earlier next this. We might do some like late July, early August drafts, right when training camp starts up. But yes, Cordell Patterson, first round picked in. Cordell Patterson, like he could be high pick. Rashid Shaheed is another player that goes. It's just, I think Rashid Shaheed might have some value. It's just we don't know. Like it could be something where we see maybe only 3 to 5 touchdowns out of a top player, but it could be something that like maybe teams figure out, kind of like how the tush push is. Maybe teams figure out something with special teams. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Definitely not first round though. Star bench cut, cornrows, dreadlocks, and curls. Cornrows is definitely number one. I'm from the AI era, bruh. I'm from the AI era, so cornrows is definitely number one. Dreads is the new wave. I feel like dreads, they either look terrible or they look great. So I don't know. I'm going cornrows. Bench the rest. Cut the rest. I don't care. Rock out. Don't do this to me right now. Do not do this to me right now. This is diabolical. And you know I'm a Niner fan. This is diabolical. Don't do this shit to me right now, Rock out. Don't do this to me right now. Man, I was born in 2003. What's wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. I'm giving y'all some shit. You can't do this to me right now, bro. You can't. This is I hate this, man. Rice is the greatest receiver of all time. Randy Moss is the best downfield threat ever in NFL history. Terrell Owens is my favorite wide receiver of all time. You can't do this, bro. You can't do this. My start bench cut, personally, Owens, Moss, Rice. T.O. Randy Moss second. Jerry Rice third. And that's only because I got to see so much more of it's only because damn it, I didn't want to do that, but it is what it is. It's only because I got to see so much more of Terrell Owens' career, like, and really appreciate it as somebody who could like actually watch the game and know what was going on. Randy Moss is in that same way, but Terrell Owens was like my guy. Terrell Owens was my guy as a Niner fan. Like T.O. was my guy. So Jerry Rice was too, like obviously growing up as a Niner fan, like that was the player. But I think if I'm going my personal preference, I'm going Owens, Moss, Rice. And that hurts me to say. It's messed up you put me through that, bro. Messed up you put me through that. I was gonna go Pickens. I thought he faults me. Yeah, this draft is crazy, bro. This draft is crazy. Quarterback went late. It's funny because like you go on somebody else's page, like if you watch some mock drafts from other pages, it will not be like this. But I think you guys are very high level. Like I've drafted against you guys, and you guys, like to me, you guys draft at a pretty high level. So I normally like the teams that you guys draft, but then again, you have somebody else come in there, they may hate it. You feel me? We'll do an auction draft next time. Start bench cut. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. You're doing a good job on these start bench cuts. Y'all finding out a little too much about me though. Make me think, you know what I'm saying? You trying to turn my AI into me. You feel me? Like you gonna make an AI J-Hen. I don't like that. You gonna know too much information about my start bench cuts, bruh. I don't like that. Y'all gonna turn me to a robot? Y'all gonna turn me to a bot, to an AI? Huh? Is that the game plan here, JSC? Huh? Is that the damn game plan? Because I don't like that shit, bro. I don't like it. Makes me a little suspicious. You feel me? A little suspicious. That's how it makes me feel. It makes me feel a little suspicious, homie. You know what I'm saying? I did not pick Brock Bowers. You did, actually. He's on your roster. Unfortunately for you, he's on your roster. So you picked him. Your team that was you, Texas T. I like this team. I like that team. You're doing good until that moment. Who are you going to take instead? Instead of Brock Bowers, who are you going to take? Who are you going to take there instead? Wait, what is this new rule, Jahan, with the returners? I didn't even know. Explain. Okay, so NFL rules have changed. There is a new kick return rule. I'm going to read it off verbatim so I don't butcher it, but it came from the XFL. And this kickoff return rule is basically meant to get more teams to actually use the kickoff and for there to be less injuries. So instead of starting at like the 35, 40, whatever it is, I'm going to read it verbatim. Starting at whatever line it was, I want to say it was the 35. I think the line has been moved up forward. And I think the teams don't start at the opposing 40 or 45. They move back now. So I'm going to read the new kickoff rule verbatim so that we don't mess this up. The competition committee has passed for 1 year changes to the kickoff play. So this is something that's going to be a trial for this season only. If it works, they'll stick it. And if it doesn't work, they're going to get rid of it. The ball is kicked from the A35. So the 35-yard line, the away 35-yard line, which is the same as it is right now. Safety kicks would be from the opposing 20-yard line. So if there was a safety kick, I don't even know what it is. I forgot what a safety kick is. All kicking teams players other than the kicker will now line up on the home team's 40-yard line. The kicker can't cross the 50-yard line until the ball touches the ground or the player in the landing zone or end zone. So there's also now a landing zone, which I'll explain in a minute. The 10 kicking team players cannot move until the ball hits the ground or the player in the landing zone or the end zone. So until the ball hits either a player or the end zone, none of the players can move. The receiving team will line up as followed. They're going to line up within a 5-yard area from the 35 to the 30, where at least 9 receiving team players must line up. So you got to have 9 players on the line in between the 30 and the 35. 7 players have to start with their foot on the home team's 35-yard line, or on the receiving team, I'll say, receiving team's 35-yard line. With alignment requirements, they have these requirements. Players must not be outside the setup zone. All players in the setup zone cannot move until the kick has hit the ground or a player in the landing zone or the end zone. And a maximum of 2 returners may line up in the landing zone. So the landing zone is the area between the team's goal line and the 20-yard line. So between obviously the end zone and then the 20, anything that is short of the landing zone automatically gets placed at the 40. Anything that goes into the back of the end zone automatically gets placed at the 30-yard line. So the kicking rules are way different this year. You guys can look it up. There's no more fair catches. Basically, they're encouraging a lot more return action. So will it affect our fantasy teams? I don't think it will. Is there a chance that some players could have more of an impact? Absolutely so. Absolutely so. I was not meant to read rules. I was not meant to read rules. But yes, those are the new return rules. Hopefully that helped. Start, bench, cut, starburst, airheads, and Skittles. I don't do the fruit flavored candies. I don't like them. I'll cut them all. Skittles, starburst, and airheads. The only one I maybe would eat is like an orange starburst. Other than that, I don't fuck with the fruit flavored candies. Born in 2003 sounds crazy to me. It's crazy until you got kids, bro. My son was born, my oldest was born in 2010. I got 2010, 2015, and 2017. So born in 2003 is like, what is that? That's a 20-year-old now? That's wild. That's wild. That's a 20-year-old now. Graduated high school in 2005. Had a jean jacket in the 90s. Holy shit, a jean jacket, bro? Was it a Gen jacket or you meant a jean jacket, right? You didn't mean Gen jacket. What's Gen? A Gen jacket? Is that real or is it jean jacket you meant to say? Can you rank team 3 in depth? I'm going to rank every team in depth. And how you going to ask me to rank team 3 in depth and then you going to miss the pick, bro? How you going to go auto draft on the last pick? Forgot about tight end. Hey, at least you got the whole Texans squad, bro. I'm going to rate the teams and get into it, all right? I'm going to rate the teams. I was going to take Sutton with my 10th pick. Usually I don't take a tight end early, but I grabbed Kelsey with the 4th round. Yes, screws up trying to draft a decent wide receiver 3. And Kelsey, that's the thing. You're praying that Kelsey can be a 1,200-yard guy. I just don't see it. So I think you're right. Like, it pays the way with tight end. You can get Ingram much later. I took Kittle a little too early, so it is what it is. Sonny G, first team. Here we got Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Amari Cooper. I mean, your receivers are still stacked. And Mixon, Zamir White, good job on the running backs. Jordan Love at quarterback. Schultz, I don't mind this team. You got the only thing is like, and you probably could trade Tank Dell. Trade Tank Dell for somebody else, bro. But say that was like T. Higgins or say it was somebody else. I think this is a good team still. This is still like to me like an 8. Solid. You just don't have a whole lot of upside here, I would say. So, like for me, the difference of this team, like being elite, was like you took Tyreek Hill, who had upside. You took Diggs, who had floor. Amari Cooper's a floor guy. Flowers is a floor guy. Samuel's a floor guy. At your running back position, Mixon's limited upside. Zamir White's kind of a wild card. Zach Moss is a floor guy. Chuba Hubbard's a floor guy. Dalton Schultz is a floor guy. Jordan Love's kind of a floor guy. He doesn't have like the QB1 ceiling. So where's your upside with this lineup? That's really all with Tyreek Hill, and you already know what he is. Tank Dell, maybe, but that's an 8. Execution, you got CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman, very good start there. Cook and Stevenson there as your running backs, good job. Lamar Jackson, Jake Ferguson, Singletary, Elliott. I think it's a good team. Where it starts to get weak, obviously, is at the flex position. So you're running like Singletary, Elliott. Rashee Rice hits, you're going to love this team. Rashee Rice, Mooney. So if Rashee Rice hits, you're going to love this team. If not, you're going to be very disappointed. I think your running backs have somewhat risk, but your receivers are elite, so it makes up for it. Quarterbacks elite. Tight end, you're gonna be kind of inconsistent here, but your rest of your lineup can carry. So this is like an 8.1 to me, execution. I think it's a good team. Your bench leaves a lot to be desired. If you would have filled your bench a little differently, I think, with more upside down here, I would have been a little bit more encouraged. But I think starting a weekly flex out of these guys might be frustrating for you. CM, see you later. We got McCaffrey, Harrison, Higgins, Odunze, Worthy, Trey McBride, Dave Montgomery, Eckler, Zach Charbonnet, and Caleb Williams. So I like having Josh Allen, McCaffrey stack your two of the best of their position. McBride, same thing. But you put so much pressure on your young receivers like Harrison, Odunze, Worthy. Imagine they all start off slow out the gate just because they're rookies. You know, Worthy's playing more of a return role and 3 to 5 targets a game for a while. Odunze's the third receiver. T. Higgins is the second receiver. I'm sure he'll be fine. But like Harrison, what if it takes him a while to get going? You put a lot of pressure on your rookie receivers here. So, well, I think this is you have a good framework here. And if, 3 of your rookies hit, it's a good team. It's just that's a lot of pressure on your rookie receiver. So I get it's like a 7.8. All right, that boy B. Jefferson, Olave, Pickens, Jameson Williams, Kyler Murray, Mark Andrews, Etienne Connor, Ford, Chase Brown, Dowdle. This seems good. I like where you got Chris Olave here in the 3rd round as opposed to like the 2nd. I may have went Deebo Samuel or Cup, but that's just me personally. And then at running back, Etienne and Connor. I'm not a big Etienne guy, but Etienne and Connor, I think it's a decent team. It's just not a Jahan type team. This is like an 8 to me. I think you actually did really good with your backups. You got good floor with Jerome Ford. You got upside with Chase Brown. And you got upside with J-Mo, but Khalil Shakir is probably not going to be a big part of the offense, in my opinion. So, yeah, I guess it's like an 8. Do I need to rank my team? I think my team's decent. I've drafted better, but I like this team. I think I went Kittle a little too early. I wouldn't have took Purdy here. I shouldn't have took Purdy here. Other than that, I like this team. It's just not great. I got a lot of Niners here. I'll give myself an 8. I like this team, but I took Kittle. I probably took Kittle around too early. Yeah, I could have did a couple things differently here. All right, Gabe. We got Bijan and Derrick Henry, Nico, Jaden Reed, D-Hop, Brian Thomas, Lab McConkey. Kind of the same thing. The young receivers, man. Kyle Pitts with Jaden Hurts. Not mad at that. Running backups are Benson and Chandler. You got Trevor Lawrence there as trade bait if you needed to, or if Hurts goes down. I just think your receivers, man. I think you already identified this. Your receivers are just, you have to hit on these guys. So I think in the future, what I would do is instead of Hurts there, I like be okay with starting a Kyler Murray instead 3 rounds later. Get yourself a Pickens, Amari Cooper, just somebody more reliable for your starting lineup, and then just trust that Kyler Murray isn't going to be that far off of Jalen Hurts. Like a single QB league, or trust that like maybe you get CJ Stroud or Joe Burrow, but like I think you could have did better there with like another very strong starting caliber receiver because now you're putting a lot of pressure on D Hop to be D Hop as your wide receiver three. Put a lot of pressure on Brian Thomas or Lad McConkey to be like that guy as your flex over Trey Benson. So I like the setup. I think when you go running back, there's no way you can go quarterback and tight end in those next picks. You got to get three guys if we start three receivers in the first 6 rounds. Have to. All right, Jamar Chase, Kyron Williams, Pacheco, Rashee Rice, Christian Kirk, Malik Neighbors, Hollywood Brown, Joe Burrow, David Njoku, Brian Robinson, Joshua Palmer, and Kendre Miller. I like your running backs here. I think you did a decent job there. No, I don't love the players. I can respect what you're building here. And then I think when it comes to receivers, I think you got good upside. Like if Neighbors hits, you're good. If Hollywood hits, you're good. Kirk is a good floor option. So I like the build. I don't like the players. I like the build. I don't like the players. I'll say that. So, and Joe Burrow is not a quarterback that I typically draft. So I like what you're doing here. And I think this could be a decent team. I'm just not a fan of the players who you drafted. I hope that makes sense. So I've been giving it a lower grade just because of that. I would go with an 8.1. 8.1. I like the build, though. I like what you did there. I think if these names like say different names, maybe I'm talking about this team. But like if this said Chase, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Kenneth Walker, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, JSN, I'm probably like, damn, this is a heavy hitting team. Like that's just it's all personality thing. Jacob, you got Brees Hall, Brandon Ayuk, Jalen Waddle, Kelsey, Aaron Jones, Stroud, Brooks, Coleman, Chubb. Running back is going to be kind of risky for you there at RB2. I think your receiver 3 is very risky. I think you kind of went about this the wrong way in the middle of the draft. If this is a 3 receiver league, like I think you could find a startable lineup. I just don't like the build. I don't like the roster very much. I'm gonna give this one like a 7.6. I'm not a fan of this one. I think taking Kelsey early and Aaron Jones right there, and then getting Stroud too. Like, I think this, if you take quarter in a single QB league and a league that's not tight end premium, if you take a quarterback, I feel like you can't take a tight end early. Like, you got to pick one or the other in the first 6 rounds, especially if it's 3 receivers. Take one or the other, not both, because I'm noticing that it's really weak in a 12-team league. Those teams, to me, seem like the weaker teams. Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp, Jordan Addison, Jacobs, Achane, and Swift with Mahomes. Not a bad setup there with Cortland Sutton and Judy. So I think you got startable. One of those guys is going to be startable for you at wide receiver 3 and flex. Obviously, you said you would have went differently with Brock Bowers there. So I'm assuming you said Cortland Sutton there at that spot. Maybe you get Tyler Lockett on the back end. But this team is decent even with the tight end mix up there. I think you got good floor and upside with this team. I just like an 8.2. Remember what I said about this build right here and how I think it would have been if I said different names? That's how I feel about this. To me, this team is like a J-Hen type team. This is the type of team that I would love to go into a season with. Saquon and Alvin Kamara as the running backs. You got a floor guy in Edwards. You have an upside guy in Blake Corum. You got Devontae, Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, and JSN. 5 starting caliber receivers. Maybe not the upside that you want to see, but if JSN hits, Chris Godwin hits, now you're looking real nice. Rashad Bateman there at the end of your draft. Jaden Daniels is a high upside guy, like Dallas Goedert for the position you got him. Damn. This is probably my favorite team so far. This is like 8.4 to me, 8.5. Like I said, strategy good. Players. I like the players on this lineup. I think this is the best team so far. Nakua, Gibbs, Metcalf, Sam Laporta, Terry McLaurin, with Najee Harris and Javonte Williams. Deontay Johnson is your wide receiver 4, not bad. Xavier Legette, you got one of them. Josh Downs, and then you got Jared Goff as your QB1. I'm okay with that. With the setup, I see you got the stack with Laporta. If Nakua is back to normal, this is a good team. The only thing is you are heavy Lions with Gibbs, Laporta, and Goff. I like having Najee and Javonte as your 2 and 3 there with the setup. Maybe a little Lion heavy, but other than that, team looks fine to me. And then you're also kind of Carolina heavy with Bryce Young, Legette, and Deontay. So I'll give this one like an 8, solid 8. And then Ronald, we got JT, Pollard, Warren, and Algier. Decent running backs there, obviously led by This is kind of a hero RB strategy. Wilson, Devontae Smith, DJ Moore. Then you got Shaheed and Romeo Dobbs as your 4 and 5. I would like to see a little bit different flex there, especially since Jalen Warren and Algier are your flex candidates at running back. I think your flex, the end of your draft need to be a little bit better. I think your start of your draft is fine. End of your draft need to be a little bit better. So I'll give this team like a 7-8, 7-8. I think the end of your draft, especially like Garrett Wilson, to me doesn't have the upside as like a wide receiver, the wide receiver one. Devontae Smith, DJ Moore, you just got some more questionable guys than I would like to see with that type of build. So 7.8. Was that helpful? Was that helpful? Was that better rankings for you guys? Like, was it better getting rankings like that? Jean jacket. Had to help my mom with some auto drafted Monty on accident because of that too. I got you.